Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Topline. I'm Marti Bledsoe Post, and I'm a busy working parent just like you with a long to-do list and a short attention span. So that's really why I designed this show, for an opportunity each week to talk to a new working parent about how they're balancing everything and keep it short and sweet so that you have a chance to take it all in. My guest this week is Melanie Farkas. I'm so excited to have you on the show. Melanie, welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us. And I want to have you just start by introducing yourself with your family situation and your work situation and school, if that applies for you guys.
Yeah, so I am in the marketing and communications world. I work at a law firm in the marketing department there, which is a full-time gig. I have two kids, elementary school age. My son is going into the second grade. My daughter's going into the fourth grade. And I'm married. My husband teaches at Ohio State University and then also does a lot of freelance public relations work. We're kind of in the same industry.
Okay. And you're working at home right now, and is he? Or
Yeah,
how's that going?
so for my husband, classes started back up again this
Okay.
week at Ohio State. And so he is doing some in-person teaching and then definitely being flexible for students who, don't want to be on campus, et cetera. My kids go to a school district that is doing a hybrid schedule, which is 2 or 3 days a week, depending on the week. And we live just a block from the school. So we're walkers. And then my work situation is also kind of hybrid. My office has started to open back up again. And so we're expected to be in the office at least 2 days a week. And then we can work from home those other days, which is my kids' hybrid schedule and my hybrid schedule and my husband's hybrid schedule creates just so much crazy confusion and organization attempting to keep everything straight, and it's insane.
It sounds a little insane. So how are you managing all that? Do you have a whiteboard calendar, or what is your tactic?
So I have a giant calendar. I've actually just I've been printing off, everything I'm supposed to have because in the days that my kids are not at their elementary school, they're going to a program at the church we go to that is a really great program. It's just meant to help kids like mine who are on a hybrid schedule with their homework.
Okay.
But because our schedule, my kids are going to school Mondays, Thursdays, and every other Wednesday. I literally made a sign for the door, going out the door into our garage. Says that we're going to school or the church today. Well, here are all the things we need, which is like the new world. We need clean masks, and a clean water bottle. And if they're going to the church, they need to bring a computer and headphones. I had to get my second and fourth grader computers.
That's interesting.
And I was just trying to figure, I do lots of sticky notes. I was just trying to figure out the best way to try to keep my and my husband's schedule straight. Because on Mondays, because of his class schedule, I have to take the kids to school and pick them up from school. Wednesdays, he can drop them off, but I can pick them up.
Oh, man.
I will tell you, I've been trying to think of, what is the best way, because I want to be organized and efficient, and be able to keep, if I don't have it together, the rest of my family does not have it together. So I need to find a system, and I'm hoping my signs help. And
it's a great sign. I love it, by the way.
And I have this giant calendar also right by our door into the garage, and I'm thinking of like color coding who is where each day, because almost every single day is different depending on which member of our family is where,
Right. So it's way less routine than what it was before, quote unquote, before.
Right. And my problem is I really thrive on routine. I have struggled with this hybrid thing just myself, because I I feel like I need routine, and or as long as I have that kind of baseline routine, that allows me to thrive, to really be creative and to do a good job, because I have my ducks in a row. I do A, B, and C when I get up in the morning. You know, it used to be I would have a half-hour drive to downtown Columbus for work. That's when I would listen to my podcast, and you know, I have this routine, and that allows me to really thrive in other areas. I don't have that right now, and I haven't, you know, so when schools closed in March, I think mid-March, I really struggled transitioning from working 5 days a week downtown to coming home. And then I got into a groove and I got into a routine, and now here we are again, blowing up my routines.
Yeah.
And it's been really hard, you know, just trying to figure it out and try to keep it together for the rest of my family. Because
Do you
as a
feel,
mom,
go ahead.
sorry, as a mom, you know, it's pretty typical. Everybody's relying on me to do all of this, and coming to me, what am I supposed to do today? You know, where am I today? What do I need to work on today? And yeah, it's been a lot.
Yeah. So how are you doing? I mean, you personally, how are you?
So I will say, and this is kind of crazy, because last year I ran for office. I ran for township trustee, and I thought, oh my gosh, there's no year of my life that has been as stressful as what I experienced in 2019. Boy, I had no idea. My stress level and anxiety level has been through the roof. I've never, you know, experienced anything like it. And you know, I'm pretty open that I've struggled with depression in my life, you know, and I definitely have found a good place with medication and, you know, talk therapy to really, really work well with that. But, you know, kind of keeping that in check, and then some crazy anxiety on top of it. It's been really hard.
Yeah.
And there are days that I mean, I've been such a mess that I feel like I'm just failing everyone. I'm trying to be everything to everyone, and I'm failing at every single one because I'm spread so thin. You know, I want to be a good mom, and you know, I want to be great at my job, and I want to be a good wife. And, you know, I have a couple, you know, volunteering things I do, like for Girl Scouts and for some other organizations. And those are so important to me, but I just, you know, the last few months, I felt like I've done none of these things well.
I hear that. And thank you, first of all, for all that honesty, because I think there's so many of us out there dealing with that. I'm the same way: depression, anxiety, medicine, therapy. How do we get the balance right so I can stay on track? So I understand that. And I'm grateful for your honesty there. I think we all have to say that out loud.
Yeah.
What is the last thing you did just for yourself to fill your own bucket?
That's a good question.
Or maybe not even the last thing, just something in this time.
A few times over the last few weeks, and actually right now, I asked my husband to take the kids somewhere, to a park or something, so I could really be fully present for this conversation. And there have been a few times over the last few weeks that, you know, I found with my husband, I just really need to say, you need to do this thing, you know, rather than just assuming, you know, someday he's going to take the kids to the park and let me have some quiet time, you know. And I really love to read. And, you know, I have a giant backlog of books that I've been wanting to read, and thought, oh, this will be the perfect opportunity because I'm home so much.
Right.
But I've struggled sitting down and concentrating on a book, or, you know, and I've struggled sleeping because my brain is like, but what's happening tomorrow? You know, what do I need to do? Where do the kids need to be?
Right.
And we are fortunate enough where we've been able to have a babysitter here a couple days a week to help, you know, during the summer with the kids. And so I could concentrate on work and, you know, try to be fully present for that. But I don't even know if I have a good answer. I've had a few half hours or hours here and there. Couple of weeks ago, we did get a babysitter on a Saturday, and I had a date with my husband, and that was really we realized we hadn't done that for months,
Yeah.
5 months. And it helped me see that, we, along with, me feeling like I'm not doing a great job, we haven't been putting our relationship ahead of a lot of other things. And, the just add on the stress of, financial stress of the economy today. And, my husband does a lot of freelance work aside from teaching, and that has not been as busy as it typically is. And, we're under a lot of stress, and we realized we needed to be focusing on our marriage as well. So that was good. That was for me, but for both of us.
Good. That is good. And in a normal world, you probably wouldn't have let 5 months go by without a date night, right? I mean,
Definitely not. That's
no.
something we pre-COVID, we really intended to do, on a regular basis, because going to dinner with kids is so different than going to dinner just the two of you adults having
Totally different
conversations, not trying to convince kids to actually take a bite of vegetables,
So, have you as a family developed any new traditions during this time that you think, oh my gosh, this is actually great, I want this to continue?
I think similar to a lot of people, we got into puzzling, which
Did you?
was really fun. I can't think of the last time I did a puzzle until, maybe like April of this year. And that was really fun. A fun tradition. And another funny thing is, I've never wanted to go camping in my life. I camped as a kid, but as an adult, I mean, it was nothing I was ever interested in taking my kids to do. But, being at home and thinking about things we could do as a family that weren't exposing us to a bunch of people. We actually bought a tent. I haven't not yet ventured to like a campground.
Okay.
But we have slept in the tent in our backyard a few times, and the kids think it's the most amazing thing, which is hilarious.
Yes.
And
especially since there's a comfy bed right inside the door.
Camping in 2020 is nothing like camping was when I was a kid.
Well, that's true.
Mattress out there.
That's good. That's good. As you should. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, people got to get their sleep right now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Do you have any tips for working parents?
One of the big things I've learned during all of this is I have to accept that I can't be everything. I mean, and there are days that I, the kids, I'm like, just get on your iPad. Mommy needs to stare off into space a little bit, And I think, as a mom, and I think a lot of moms could probably relate, like we are just master multitaskers, and we got everything covered. And it's so easy to like I was saying earlier, feel like you're spread so thin and you're failing at everything, that I have to remind myself a lot that, I am not going to knock it out of the park every time. My kids are amazing and don't expect me to be Wonder Woman, although there's a picture back here my daughter wrote, or she drew a Wonder Woman.
Oh, I see.
It's kind of hard to see, but a Wonder Woman logo and put "You Are a Hero." But we put ourselves up to this task of being so perfect at everything, and my kids are like, Mom, you're doing great. And I'm like, oh, I need that reminder that sometimes just doing your best is well, most times doing your best is going to be good enough, but you can't always be perfect. And especially in this world today, I mean, we're in a global pandemic, and the economy is crashing, and there's so much divisiveness and strife that we're just trying to get by during a time in the world like nothing we've ever experienced in our lives. And it's okay to just be a mess sometimes.
Yes. So that's a good little sort of zinger there. If you had to design a t-shirt right now for working moms specifically, what would you put on the t-shirt?
I've actually seen some funny memes, and I was like, man, I would wear that on a t-shirt that are just like, like this kind of face
Uh-huh.
about everything, like,
Mm.
parents, when your school options are 100% virtual,
Right.
hybrid, 100% in school. It really feels like there is no right answer.
Mhm.
And that's what I would put on a t-shirt. There's
Yes.
no perfect answer. There's no right answer.
Mhm.
Again, we're all just trying to get by in a world that is nothing like we've ever experienced, and hopefully we'll never have to experience again. It'll be so great, hopefully 5 years from now or whatever, to be able to say, man, do you remember 2020?
Oh.
It was crash
Woo.
in my day.
Oh yeah, I know. Our kids are going to tell some big stories, I think.
Yeah.
Um, is there anything you've just kind of given up? Like, I'm not worrying about that anymore. I'm over it in this time.
My house is a giant mess. I mean, and I'm not the type of person for my house to be just perfect all the time, but like, my son especially, just when we gets home from something, he takes off his shirt and his socks and hangs out around the house just in shorts. It drives me insane because I find his little dirty socks everywhere, and it drives me nuts.
Hmm.
And I've really had to just let it go. Like, we are in our house 24/7. We are, I've never run my dishwasher so much in my life, because we're eating 3 meals a day here,
Yeah.
7 days a week. And if there are dirty dishes piled up in my sink, I just have to relax about it. I just have to let those things go, because I cannot do it all. And I have a partner who, he is doing just as much as me when it comes to taking care of the kids and cleaning up the house and doing laundry and things like that. And I love him to death. It's amazing. I don't know how I would do this without him.
Hmm.
I know a lot of families are not in that same
Hmm.
situation, so it's just hard on everybody.
Yeah. So, what is one question that you think I should ask my next guest that I didn't ask you?
Um, how about like my favorite wine?
That's a great idea to add that.
Because you know what? I I love red wine. I love Cabernets. That's my favorite. But there's this Aldi Cabernet called Intermingle, and I swear it's
Oh.
like $8.
Uh-huh.
It's delicious. I
Uh-huh.
like a bold red wine. It's bold, and it's like $8.
This is a survival technique right here. This is
It
good
is a
stuff.
survival technique. On Fridays, when I'm wrapping up the workday, I'm like, can't wait to pop that intermingle.
Hmm. Oh, that's good. That's really good. I will add what's your sort of guilty pleasure question? Or I don't even want to call it that. I'll think of a better way to refer to it, because I don't even think it should be guilty. I think it's just
Yeah.
pleasure. We have so few options for that.
Mine is watching movies with swearing in it.
Oh, nice.
My kids, okay, so we're like, I say we because I love the movies just as much as they do. We love the Marvel movies, and they have some swearing.
Hmm.
But I love it when they go to bed and I'm like, yes, I can watch a movie that adults can watch,
Yes.
Has adult humor and lots of swearing. And I can get
Oh.
caught up on things that people talk about on, pop culture stuff that I'm
Mhm.
just so out of, because I have, small kids, and I'm just not plugged into that stuff.
Yeah.
That is my not guilty pleasure.
Okay, that's good. I'm gonna refer to it like that, because I don't think we women need any more guilt in our lives,
Right?
especially now.
We give ourselves enough, don't we?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your perspective and honesty. That kind of flew by, and I'm excited to have people be able to listen to it. And I hope you have a great weekend with some intermingle and some movies with questionable language.
And maybe sleeping in a tent in the backyard. Who
And
knows?
maybe some camping in the backyard. Yes.
Someday I'll venture to an actual campground, but I'm
Oh,
just not
maybe.
ready for that yet.
Right. Right. I don't blame you. Well, thank you again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Marty.
Take care.